Good morning, insiders, and welcome back to another morning react video. Today we got a pro trader, me, watching an accountant explaining money habits that keep you poor, specifically 9 money habits keeping you poor. Let's see by the end of this video if it's going to get a like from us. I'll be sure to click the like button if I like it before the end of the video. Usually I've been leaving a comment if I liked it or not because I'll forget to actually do it during the video, or at least the recap. This video, look at this, 9.3 million views, which is insane. And it didn't take long to get there. I mean, sure, it came out a year ago, but that's nothing. And then look at this chart. So within the first day, it had 20,000 views, and then instantly 50, then 73 within 3 days, and then within 28 days, it already had 3.2 million views. Is it because she looks good? I don't know. I definitely don't think that hurts. Let's go ahead, make it full screen, and
I have spent the last decade of my life immersing myself in the field of finance and money through a degree in finance, a qualification in accounting, and then a career in investment banking. And one of the most life-changing skills I have learned through it all is how to handle my own finances, recognize my bad money habits, and break free from them. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 9 of the most common.
What do you guys think the first one is? Let me know in the comments below. Let's see if you guys get it right. Definitely something along the lines of cutting expenses is somewhere in there. Probably not the first one because that's not exciting enough. Let's see.
Bad money habits that hold people back and tips on how to break out of them. Number 1, paying yourself last. I first heard of this in the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and it's one of the blueprints in achieving financial freedom. Robert explains that the way people pay their bills can be broken down into 2 types. The first way is the poor people's habit, and that is through paying yourself last. So as soon as your paycheck comes in, you then pay your rent, your phone bill, your subscriptions, you fund your social plans, and then you'll save whatever's left over, if there is even any money left to save. The second method he talks about is the...
Guys, this is so important, and being a trader, being an entrepreneur, in terms of, before I was a trader, I had a SaaS business, or several actually, with my brother for many years. You have to pay yourself first. There's nothing worse than having a fat daddy bank account and then over time it just dwindles because you're not saving it, or you're just not putting that money to work, and you start living off of that, or then you're always going to have a down period, right? You got to pay yourself first, get that savings popped up, and make sure your savings are making you money. Let's get back in the video. I don't want to comment too much just yet.
Rich people's habit, and they do the complete opposite. They pay themselves first, and that is what you want to do. Take 10% minimum and put that into your savings account the minute you get paid.
Minimum, yeah.
Treat it like paying a bill. This is so important, and by doing this, you're guaranteeing that that money will be saved and won't just slip through your fingers through spending. A lot of people are probably thinking, there is no way I can do this. I live paycheck to paycheck. But the surprising thing is when you take that 10% and put it away, your mind will think of ways and structure your spending and structure your finances to last for the whole month, and you won't even realize that you're saving in the background. People don't realize how much they're spending on paying the bills, buying something new, going on that weekend away, and then they save whatever's left, but that is the backwards mentality. The key is to pay yourself first instead of making other people richer by buying their things before you pay yourself. The second bad money habit is getting comfortable with bad debt. It seems that debt these days is actually the norm. People are using debt to buy the smallest of things, to buy presents, to buy clothes. I have a straight rule, that is, unless I can afford to pay for that thing outright in cash, I shouldn't be buying it with any form of debt. Remember, and
even better, if you can buy it with your passive income. And passive income is not like your YouTube side hustle. That is not passive. There's nothing passive about YouTube. It is a lot of work if you actually want to make money from it. So passive income is like getting a dividend payment from a stock you own. That is real passive income. And if you could start buying all that stuff you want with passive income, then money in the bank. Let's keep going here.
Companies want you to be bad with your finances because that's how they make money from this. The average credit card interest rate is 22%, which cancels all kind of benefits and rewards these credit card companies are providing if you're not able to pay them off in time. It is not having a stockpile. This ties into point number one, which is about paying yourself first. And essentially, it's saving enough so that you have a buffer behind you of about 3 to 6 months. This is super important and it will give you peace of mind just by having this buffer kept to one side and available to tap into if you need it. You free up that mental energy to designate to more important things. So how do you gather this 6 months of buffer? It's through that paying yourself first. Start putting that 10% away. And once you have your stockpile, then you can start using the additional money you save to building in.
Another benefit of having a stockpile is just you don't make that many bad short-term, or you make less short-term decisions or bad short-term decisions specifically. Say, okay, now I'm tight on cash. Oh, I need to actually sell some of my stocks. And you end up selling them at, typically the worst time, because if you're tight on cash, others are tight on cash, the economy might be bad, the economy's down, the stock is down, and then you're selling, right? So having that stack cash pile or cash stockpile makes a really, really big difference.
To your investment fund and looking at investments. Number 4 is not knowing your income or expenses properly. Until you know what your starting point is, how do you know where you want to be? There's something called lifestyle inflation, and that is your spending will rise as your income rises. The more money you make, the more you spend. And it's a cycle. Make more money, buy a bigger house, buy a nicer car, spend more, make more. And it's crazy how normal this is, but it is a recipe for disaster. You want to be in control of your finances and mapping out where things are going. A budget tracker is super important, and you want it to include how much you're making, how much you're paying yourself first, that 10% we spoke about, your expenses, so your bills, your mortgage, your rent, your spending, your debt repayments, and so on. And you want to be keeping on top of that budget tracker. At least every 3 months, set a date night with the tracker. People who know exactly where they are financially, they know their assets, they know their liabilities, they have a clear goal on where they want to go financially and all the steps they need to take to get there, are more likely to get a lot of money and build wealth compared to people who just fantasize about money but have no idea how to go about it, how they plan to acquire it, or how to manage it. Just being mindful of this stuff and seeing those numbers in black and white will trigger you into action. 5th bad money habit is having expensive hobbies.
That's why you play tennis. Tennis is like the cheapest hobby. I think I just put her on mute on accident. Let me go back like 5 seconds. Yeah, tennis, guys, amazing sport, super cheap. You buy like a $20-$30 racket on Amazon or even on eBay or classifieds for much cheaper. Get one for free and just start playing. I mean, even in Europe it's cheap, and Europe is very expensive for tennis. So like in America it's a dream. Tennis dreamland. All right. And the reason it's expensive in Europe is because to play tennis, you always have to be part of some club. It's super annoying. And if there are public courts, sometimes it's kind of tricky to access them, and it still costs money. All right, expensive hobbies. Tennis is not an expensive hobby. Let me make that clear.
Bad money habit is having expensive hobbies. A lot of people like to shop, and I guess, part of this is retail therapy. But again, marketing, social media, and these multi-billion-pound organizations love to tell us how much we need to spend our money and spend our cash instead of keeping and investing it. Next up, we have focusing purely on saving. If you want to improve your financial position, you can firstly save more of your existing income, or you can make more money and create more income streams. And the ideal combination is a mixture of both. You can't build wealth if you're making more money and spending it all, but you also can't if you're just focusing on the saving side, because there is a cap to how much you can save. Using those cashback sites will only get you so far. So to truly build wealth, you have to think of both sides of the equation, both how you will save a larger percentage of your income, but also how you will make more money. Saving money side has a cap. The making money side does not. It's infinite. There is unlimited potential upside, whether it's investing in the stock market, asking for a pay rise, starting a side hustle. You want to break the bad money habit of thinking that saving money is going to massively increase your wealth. Number 7, paying too much in taxes. Taxes are going to be the single biggest expense in your life. Whilst everyone has to pay tax, a lot of people just pay it without considering how you can legally reduce your bill. Legally is the key word here. The wealthy, they have knowledge of illegal corporate structures that come with tax advantages. They hire tax advisors that help them minimize their tax bill. So if you want to get one step ahead, one of the best ways to increase your wealth is through understanding tax rules in a way that stack up in your favor. For example, investing through an
IRA, yeah, IRA investment is really good. I use a Roth IRA, and that's after tax dollars can now appreciate tax free until you're like 60 or so. Then you could withdraw that money for free. Um, Typical IRAs are a little bit different. That's pre-tax money, but you get a little deduction before you put the money in there. Now, what I wanted to add to that is the fact that, wait, hold on. Let me just go back here a second.
Tax bill. So if you want to get one step ahead, one of the best ways to increase your wealth is
Yeah, so you guys might know Alex Hormozy. He's a really big, I guess you could say, influencer at this point, but he's like a business mogul and now investment mogul. Yeah, I would definitely classify him as. And he used to put a lot of money into finding tax professionals to help him get around, saving some percents here and there. And he says in the end, he spent more money on his tax professionals and the savings were really minimal. And yeah, you can go down that road and save even more and maybe even move to Puerto Rico or do all these little hacks. But at what point is your life quality diminishing? So don't stress about it too much. ChatGPT is like the best tax professional you could probably already get. Just read some articles. There's already like a lot of low-hanging fruits, right? Deduct your expenses, things like that. Start a little bit of a side company so you could put expenses into that side company and then deduct those. It's like really simple things anyone can do. Doesn't take a lot of work to figure out, but just don't drive yourself crazy. I know I drove myself a little bit crazy here a couple of years ago when I was like trying to really figure out how to like save taxes on all fronts, and at one point there's a diminishing return. I just wanted to throw that out there.
through understanding tax rules in a way that stack up in your favor. For example, investing through an ISA or a Roth IRA, which is an investment account that shelters your dividend and profit from taxes, or operating under a business instead of an individual if you're a solopreneur. All of this stuff is absolutely legal. And if you are someone who disagrees with this and prefers to pay more taxes, regardless of whether or not you can reduce it legally, then it doesn't hurt to understand the tax rules and reduce that tax bill so that you can instead use the money to give back to things that directly align with your values instead of letting someone else decide where that money should be going. If you want me to make a video on tax, I was planning to. I already have a summary on what I want to include, but I have been a bit skeptical about whether to release this. It's a topic that can go either way. So let me know in the comments below if you want to see that. Number 8, waiting too long to invest. When you start having savings, you have that stockpile, that buffer that we spoke about. Then you want to start looking at investing that money so that your money starts working for you, and you want to diversify those investments so you can weather different situations that come around in life. But you want to avoid leaving that money in a bank account because inflation is a thing, and it means that you're essentially losing money every year. So I have
You guys all know that on this channel, investing, compounding interest, all that stuff is super, super fundamental. Yeah, that is core. That is core. Not much to say about that.
Mixture of safe investments, of riskier investments that I'm willing to lose as well. Start looking at different investment strategies once you've saved up enough. Don't leave any additional money more than you need to in a bank account. I have another video on what you can be doing with your money in times like the current recession, and I'll link that here for you as well. There's always going to be reasons why you can't invest, because you don't have time, you don't have enough money, you don't know where to start. But the longer you put off investing, the harder you will have to work to get that same level of financial freedom as someone who starts investing earlier. It may just be finding the right person or the right tools that help you resonate with your finances in a way that most appeals to you, whether that's through an employee perspective, an entrepreneur perspective, someone who is a less of a risk taker, someone who is more of a risk taker. But there will be someone who kind of matches your investing style more closely. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, you may also enjoy another one that I've linked here on building wealth.
Guys, I think we all learned some valuable lessons here for sure, and I would love to hear which one you took away the most. I'll tell you what, in terms of 9 money habits keeping you poor, oh man, let me think what mine would be. Well, let's see here. We got paying yourself last, or paying yourself first, really. I think this is a super important one. Bad debt. Yeah, you don't want bad credit card debt. That is just going to kill you. A buffer, 3 to 6 months. That's really important. Income and expenses. Your cash flow has to be good. Spending. Oh, I'm getting a little bit in the way here. Spending cannot be too high, but then also it should match your income, savings, and then savings, taxes. Yeah, well, I gave a good point about that. And waiting too long to invest. Honestly, waiting too long to invest might be the fundamental one. So guys, there were a lot of the middle ones are a little bit common sense. The buffer is obviously very important. Bad debt is very important, but pay yourself first, put money into your savings account, and then let compounding interest do the magic for you, because that's ultimately what's going to move the needle and give you those 10x returns work free. You're not gonna have to do anything for it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. No, wait, I'm not gonna forget. I'm gonna hit that like button because I think it was a good video. So boom, there it is. Let me know if my commentating today deserved the like button as well. I'd super appreciate it. Ciao, guys.